Welcome back to Aurora Tech Channel. Today, I'm going to review the Sovol SV01 Pro, which is an upgraded version of the SV01. It's one of the most affordable mid-range 3D printers and only costs around $300. It comes with almost everything you would expect from a mid-range printer, including a dual Z-axis, a direct drive extruder, auto bed leveling, a filament sensor, X and Y axis belt tensioners, a touchscreen, a 32-bit board with silent stepper drivers on the X, Y, and Z axes, and the extruder. One thing I noticed is that Sovol is sharing the same supply chain as Creality, so they have the exact same motherboard, filament holder, filament sensor, CR touch sensor, belt tensioners, and many other standard components. This is basically a larger Ender 3S1 with a 280 by 240 by 300 print volume, which is around 50% larger than the Ender 3S1's 220 by 220 by 270. It has a different extruder, and it is $100 cheaper than the Ender 3S1. I would like to thank Sovol for sending me this machine to review, and with that, let's get started. We have the base, the gantry, a 4.3-inch touchscreen, the filament holder with the sensor, some sample filament, the user manual, and some tools. The assembly will be simple, and it should take less than 10 minutes. First, put the gantry on the base and insert 2 long screws from the side, and I will tighten them later. Do the same to the other side and tighten the screws, and then go back to the right side and tighten those screws. Connect the screen cable and snap it on the mount of the base. The filament holder also has no screws and T-nuts, so just snap it at the top. Now, we can connect some cables, starting with the filament sensor, then the Z-stepper motor behind the screen, and the extension of the filament sensor. On the left, we only have one Z-stepper motor cable. The rest of the cables are connected before this printer was shipped, including the X stepper, X limit switch, Y motor, Y limit switch, and the heated bed. The last thing we need to do is check the voltage, and as I am in the US, I will flip it to 115. Okay, the assembly is done. We can connect the power and turn it on. The screen UI has been redesigned, and it's now simple and the menu locations are reasonable. As you can see, the Z offset, bed corner leveling, and auto bed leveling are grouped together under the leveling menu. Select the leveling menu and it will start with auto home. Start with AUX leveling and level all 4 corners of the bed. Use the simple paper test to move the nozzle close to the bed and let it slightly scratch the paper. Do the same to all 4 corners, and you may need to do another 1 or 2 rounds to make sure it is perfect. Go back and use the arrows on the screen to adjust the Z offset, and negative 1.8 mm seems perfect, so I will just save this value and start auto bed leveling. After all 16 points are measured, we can go back to the main menu, preheat the machine, and feed in some filament. Once the temperature reaches 200 degrees Celsius, run the filament through the filament runout sensor, pull the lever, and insert the filament until you can see it coming out from the nozzle. Remember to adjust the tension of the extruder, otherwise it can't grip the filament tightly and give you consistent extrusion. Now, we can insert the SD card and start our first print. Let's try this XYZ calibration cube. It's a little weird to see the X side of the cube on the Y axis, but just let it finish. The cube does not look exactly like the test cubes that I would normally print, but as you can see, the dimensions are all accurate. I will now go to Cura and set up this printer. Select Add Printer, Non-Network Printer, and Sovol. We don't have the SV01 Pro here, but we can use the SV01 profile as the print volume is the same and just use all default settings. The standard profile looks good, and the 3mm retraction seems to be a little bit too much, but I will just leave it and come back to adjust if necessary. Let's start with the normal calibration cube. It will take 28 minutes, which is in line with most other FDM printers. The cube looks fine, and the dimensions are also accurate. Next, I will print a 3D benchy. There's just a tiny bit of stringing, but the layers, cooling, and overhanging all look good. It seems the 3mm retraction distance and 50 mm/s speed works fine on this extruder as well. Then, I will print this cat model. The contact area of the feet is small, but this sticker sheet print surface should stick well. This cat model looks beautiful. Next, I will try printing the Statue of Liberty. This model is too tough to print at the original size, so I will enlarge it and remove the base by lowering it under the build plate. It is still going to take more than 11 hours to print. The tablet should add some support, but I really don't like removing support, so I will just print without it and see how it looks. I think the result still looks pretty good, and I could simply use a flush cutter to trim the bottom of the tablet, and it ends up looking really nice. Besides PLA, I will also print some PETG. Let's print this carabiner with Prusa Orange PETG. As expected, PETG sticks a little more than PLA, but the carabiner is still okay and is fully functional. Next, I will try printing with ABS. I will print a shelf bracket that I have printed with many printers, and this is mainly to test out the stock print surface. The ABS bracket looks okay. The magnetic print surface works the same as the one on the Ender 3 Pro. It works better than a glass bed, but is not as good as a PI textured sheet. There's a little bit of warping here, but it is not bad overall. Next, I will print a TPU SSD case. I will use flexible filament to print this SSD case, so it can also work as a protector for the corners. Just select 0 layer bottom and 0 layer top, and use the infill to make the pattern you want on the surface. The TPU SSD case looks really nice and it fits perfectly. Finally, I will print some nylon filament. As this hot end can reach up to 260 degrees Celsius, I'm using the Overture nylon filament, which I've gotten good results with 260 degrees Celsius before. So I will print another carabiner on this SV01 Pro with nylon. As this nylon filament has been open for a few months and it may have absorbed some moisture, I will use a filament dryer to dry it. As you can see, after the filament is dried, the layers stick much better and there's less stringing than before. After spending a week with this printer, let's talk about the pros and cons, starting with the pros. 1. It's super easy to assemble and many cables are connected in the factory, so putting everything together requires just 10 minutes or even less. 2. The print quality is good and it prints great right out of the box. It is on par with the Ender 3S1 when printing PLA, PETG, and ABS, but it cannot print carbon fiber filament like PACF or PCCF, as the maximum printing temperature is limited to 260 degrees Celsius by the PTFE tube inside the heat break. 3. The screen UI is nice, the menu structure is one of the best, and the location of each item is reasonable and easy to use. I don't need to guess anything with this UI. 4. The SV01 Pro is an upgraded version of the Sovol SV01. It costs about $100 more than this SV01, but you get a 32-bit board, 4 silent stepper drivers, a 4.3-inch color touchscreen, a CR Touch auto bed leveling sensor, a set of belt tensioners on the X and Y axis, cleaner cable management, and some other minor cosmetic upgrades, so I think it is worth the price. Now for the cons. 1. The print surface is a magnetic sticker sheet, which is the exact same as the one on the Ender 3 Pro. This print surface is a bit outdated, and it would be nice to see a PEI textured sheet instead. 2. The extruder itself is working fine, but it is a single gear extruder, so it would be better to come with a dual gear. 3. The maximum temperature is only 260 degrees Celsius. If Sovol uses a titanium heat break instead of the one with the PTFE tube inside, it would be able to print at 300 degrees Celsius and bring this printer to the next level. I would rather pay an extra $10 for the titanium heat break. 4. The screen UI is well structured and the dark theme looks okay, but I'm not a huge fan of the light theme. Also, the resolution of the images is low, so if the image size is being limited by the memory of the screen, it may be better to just keep one set of the dark theme with higher resolution images. In conclusion, I think this printer is pretty good. The build is solid, it's easy to assemble, the print quality is really nice right out of the box, and it comes with all mid-range printer features at a slightly lower price. It would be perfect if it also came with a PEI spring steel sheet, a titanium heat break, and a dual gear extruder. I would be happy to pay another $40 for these upgrades. If you are interested in getting a mid-range 3D printer, you can take a look at this SV01 Pro, and I put the link under the description. That's it for this video. If you like this video, please do like and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to receive new video updates. I will see you next time.